you're probably here on this weird side of the internet because you want to get better at painting these little suckers. They are tiny, borderline addictive, and now that you've bought an entire army of them, it is up to you to paint them up to look like the coolest guys in the entire galaxy. Now, if you've watched my channel or any of my content before, then you will probably know that I am someone who loves and genuinely enjoys the process of painting my Warhammer miniatures. So much so that I made it my entire career on YouTube, and my life feels very strange at this point, and that's fair. But I am in no way at the top of my painting game yet. But I do feel like most of us kind of feel like we're in the same boat there, and we are constantly looking for tips and guidance and inspiration to kind of help us improve our painting skills and our finished miniatures. I often feel like it's probably a little bit overwhelming for especially new people in the hobby community to kind of find people to follow online for inspiration. There are so many of us doing this Warhammer miniature painting content creation now, both on YouTube and other social media platforms, and we all have such unique techniques and styles, and most of us paint at different levels of difficulty and for different outcomes too. From your spend 500 hours on a single miniature for a golden demon, to your incredible army painters who can show you how to get great results whilst cutting a few corners. There is truly something for everyone out there now. So I thought I would hop on here and make a little video to show you guys some of the best and most useful miniature painting accounts that you can follow, so that maybe you can discover your new favorite style, technique, or even artist who will make you a better miniature painter today. Let's go. Whoosh. Before we get started, I want to quickly do our usual preamble, and firstly, I have an announcement to make, and that is that after very popular demand, I have made the printable STLs for the Rascaltown Goblins finally available online. Yay. You can now get access to the Fishing Goblin, the Night Goblin, Krampus, and the Pirate Goblin at the ruler tier over on my Patreon, so you can print your own Rascaltown miniatures at home. And as well as that, you'll also get access to my backlog of painting tutorials, MP3s of all my music, including the one playing right now, probably, and the best gift of all, access to the wonderful Rogue Hobbies Discord. Like I said, the STLs for the Rascaltown Goblins is something that is so highly requested on nearly every comment section on every video that I do. So I am so excited that they are finally available for everyone to print at home responsibly. Or not responsibly, and if not responsibly, then please send me pictures of your thousands and thousands of Rascaltown legions. Thank you. On top of that, I want to make it very clear before the video starts that I do wish that I could make this video like 5 hours long and mention every single miniature painter and content creator that I love. I guarantee that there will be ones I missed, which are maybe your favorite, or ones that I've even never heard of before, and that makes me really sad in advance that I've missed them out, and maybe someone will be sad about it, so I'm really sorry if that's the case. I promise, like, no offense meant. But because of that, please feel free to use the comment section below as a kind of extension of this video. Feel free to drop the name of your favorite artist or miniature painter so we can all follow or subscribe to them together and broaden our horizons as a group. And if you like this video and you do discover a new artist you've maybe never heard of before and you start following them, then please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel to help more people find their favorite artists. Thanks. But without further ado, and in no particular order, let's take a look at my very first follow recommendation. Starting off with one of my personal favourites and the current Slayer Sword winner of 2024, Infernal Brush, or the Infernal Brush. Let me know which one's correct if you're watching. David Perriman, aka Infernal Brush, is a super talented X Games Workshop heavy metal painter. So if that extremely clean, crisp, and well executed paint style is your jam, then this is definitely one for you to follow. I've followed David for years over on Instagram, and I used to watch his streams and YouTube videos at work whilst I was painting my own miniatures, and his accounts are really the gift that keeps on giving. He regularly posts detailed work in progresses images of what he's currently painting, uploads full heavy metal style tutorials both on YouTube and his Patreon, and recently, in the most based act of all, he and his Discord community created an entire heavy metal archive with a huge amount of studio accurate paint guides and colour schemes to make your miniatures look just like the ones in the box. And I will include a link to that heavy metal archive in my description box below so you can see it, because it is just such a fantastic resource. So thank you so much, David, for your inspirational work and dedication to making us painting plebs a little bit betterer. The next one is an account that when I asked the general Warhammer community who helped them the most with upping their painting game was one of the most popular answers, and that is of course the hard-working folks at the Cult of Paint. The Cult of Paint is a channel / miniature painting powerhouse run and created by two highly experienced and talented painting tutors, Henry Steele and Andy Wardle. Their completely free backlog of videos on YouTube are well shot, well edited, and super easy to follow, and they cover a whole range of techniques and skill levels, from easy and quick army painting to airbrush tutorials to Andy talking through his entire process on one of his Golden Demon winning miniatures. On top of their hundreds of tutorials, they also do a super useful painting podcast, which, if you want to keep up to date with the latest in the miniature painting community, I highly recommend watching. These guys are big, immensely talented sweethearts, and I think they come extremely highly recommended by maybe everyone in the miniature painting community, which is probably a sign that you should start following them too. Another miniature painter who a bunch of people said helped them loads on their own personal painting journey is the lovely Lukas from the Squidmar channel. If you're a fan of Emil or Squidmar, which let's face it, you probably are, then there is a high chance that you have already met Lukas Holstrom. He is the other half of the extremely popular channel, and his videos tend to focus more on higher end painting, because he is really good at it. I really love Lukas's presence on Squidmar's channel because his videos have all of the high quality fun and well edited style, often with a catchy little challenge twist that we know and love from Emil's channel. But with Lukas focusing on pushing himself and his already incredible painting skills to the next level, it provides a really watchable and informative way to take in new and more advanced painting tips and techniques while still being thoroughly entertained the entire time. I feel like it would be kind of weird and unfair for me to make this list without touching on all of the hard work that the Warhammer TV team put into making their own official painting tutorials. Having worked in that team before, I know firsthand that everyone both in front and behind the cameras are passionate hobbyists who just want to make the best videos they can. And for a lot of people, these videos are their first introduction into the world of miniature painting, and that's quite a big responsibility, which I think the whole TV team bear really well, and the videos that they produce are great, and I think that a lot of people would agree with that too. So if you are watching this video and you are new to the hobby, then I do recommend popping over there and giving some of their tutorials a watch. They're all really friendly and you could find something really useful there. But remember when that one Games Workshop employee went rogue and then started making his own painting tutorials on YouTube, and then Games Workshop told him he had to stop that and he had to delete them all, and then they replaced him with another show where the presenter was there but worse? No, that's mean. I don't mean it. I like Masterclass. I thought I did good there. But yes, of course we are talking about Darren Latham. Darren is a current Games Workshop sculptor and ex-heavy metal painter, and his social media feed has fast become one of the most popular in the community due to his impeccable heavy metal painting style. If you're not aware of the deep lore, Darren started to make his own painting tutorials on YouTube while still working at Games Workshop, and they were honestly really great. After he was asked to cease doing that by Big Plastic, all of the tutorials were wiped off the internet, but you used to be able to find them on a YouTube account called Not Darren Latham, but I looked that up and I can't seem to find that account anymore or any trace of the videos, which I think is a real shame because they were very good. However, you can still follow Darren and his incredible painting over on his other social medias, where he still posts whips, finals, and shorts of his current work. But if you are into incredibly talented talented and current studio staff who are working at Games Workshop and painting some of the miniatures that we know and love, then why stop there? Here are some more amazing accounts of current heavy metal painters who you can follow to see some of their work and find out if they were part of the team who helped paint the latest incredible miniature. Now, a lot of these accounts that I've recommended so far are great, but a lot of them use that classic heavy metal painting style, which is kind of the style that Games Workshop uses to paint their own miniatures. So what if you want to see something a little bit different or a little bit more unique on your social media feeds? Well, I would like to introduce to you one, or perhaps I should say two, of my favourite painters who make up Craftworld Studios, and I will jump at any opportunity to recommend these guys to you because they have one of my favourite painting styles in the entire community easily. Craftworld Studios are a miniature painting studio composed of two very talented artists, Alexandra and Marco, and between them they have a painting style which is just so cool and unique. They have this style which is so colourful and expressive, and the way that they paint really makes their miniatures just come to life. Like, they'll put a colour somewhere that you'd think, oh, purple probably doesn't belong there, and they just make it work somehow. Their understanding of colour is just phenomenal, and I followed them for years and years, and every single thing that they put out just gets more and more impressive. If you also want to learn how to paint like them, then they have a very comprehensive Patreon, which includes detailed lessons and even one-to-one feedback sessions, which is definitely something I would be interested in doing myself. But yes, if you are looking to add a little splash of colour and some unique style to your social media feeds, then I cannot recommend following Craftworld Studios enough. They are so great. But what if you're watching this video and you're thinking, this is all a bit much for me? I am a mum or a dad, and I have 3 kids, and I get home late from work, and I have 1 hour in the evening to paint my miniatures before I go for my game next week. Well, you are in luck, because Mr. Peachytips, Peach, is ready to help. I think it's fair to say that Peachy's tutorials over on Warhammer TV were kind of groundbreaking and responsible for teaching a lot of people how to paint their very first miniatures. Peachy is just a really funny and cool guy, and he has this way of making you feel like everything's gonna be okay whilst you're painting, with his very natural and likeable style of presenting. On top of this, his channel focuses more on how you can get your miniatures painted fast and efficiently without skimping on the quality of the end result. Peachy is big into the gaming aspect of the hobby, army painting, and having miniatures ready to play games with, even at short notice. So if you're looking to get your miniatures looking great on the table by this time next week, he is definitely going to be your new favourite channel and hobbyist. Also, he's just a really great guy in general. 10 out of 10. Love this dude. Miniature painting inspiration can come in many forms, whether that's seeing something simple yet well executed, which makes the whole thing seem achievable for us average painters, or it's witnessing some dude painting miniatures so well that it'll make you wonder if he sold his soul to the devil in return for the maddest skills you have ever seen in your life. That's right, I am talking about the one and only Flameon, whose painting style is so incredibly well rendered and smooth and kinda perfect that it honestly beggars belief sometimes. This is another account that I have personally been following for years, and every single time you think he can't possibly make a non-metallic blend look any smoother or better, the guy just does it, and then he'll paint the reflection of that miniature also in non-metallic on the base of the miniature, and it's actually astounding. Whilst Flameon does provide full tutorials for his work over on his Patreon, which I fully intend to try sometime to see if I can summon some of that painting magic for myself, I solely follow his account to see what he's going to be painting next, watch his informative shorts and reels, and marvel at his unique and extremely well practiced art style and his incredible finished miniatures. Now, if you're looking to be a great miniature painter, but perhaps 40k or even Age of Sigmar aren't quite your thing, sometimes it can be a little bit hard to find people painting at that 32mm scale who aren't necessarily just posting Warhammer miniatures all the time. So if you're looking for an incredible high-end painter who paints things like terrain, but also other game systems like Marvel Crisis Protocol and Star Wars Shatterpoint, then look no further than our buddy Sorastro. Sorastro was another painter who a lot of you said helped you out loads on your own painting journeys, and he's quickly become a household name in our studio too, where we have a huge amount of Shatterpoint terrain pieces painted lovingly using his excellent tutorials. His YouTube channel is super popular even amongst Warhammer hobbyists due to just how good his painting tutorials are and how friendly and lovely the host is. He has hundreds of free tutorials over on his YouTube account covering everything from terrain, Lord of the Rings, Zombicide, Kingdom Death, and of course, loads and loads of Star Wars. Even if these other games aren't exactly your thing, I promise you that you will learn so much just from watching his tutorials. They are well put together, easy to achieve and follow, and the end results always come out absolutely fantastic. So yes, this video has mostly been about painting miniatures, because apart from actually playing the game, painting seems to be what most people want to focus on in this hobby. But for some people, their main enjoyment in this hobby is doing things like sculpting, reposing, and customizing their miniatures to be really, really unique. And if that's what you're into, then please may I recommend following our friend Valbjorn. Valbjorn has an incredible talent for green stuffing, customizing, converting, and reposing miniatures whilst looking like a younger, more level-headed Dave Mustaine. His Instagram feed is full of insanely inspirational work, which usually focuses on his favourite faction, the Space Wolves. But by following him, you'll also pick up tips for how to work on a tiny scale with green stuff to make things which are useful across a bunch of miniatures, from tiny axes and teeth to finishing touches on armour, and of course, incredible facial hair. I feel like Valbjorn really belongs on this list because every time I see him post something new, I'm always like, hell yeah, that is super, super cool. And like I said, if green stuffing and converting is your jam, then following this guy should be an absolute no-brainer. We're gonna round off this very short list with one of my personal favourite Warhammer miniature painting accounts, which I think that everyone should be following for obvious reasons. This is Will, aka Goblin Green 2021, and just like his name suggests, he specialises in painting miniatures which look like they've stepped right off the Goblin Green riddled pages of a 1990s White Dwarf. Will is an absolute master of this 90s painting style, but he also has the ability to switch up and do the most amazing Primaris Marine you've ever seen too, which still somehow feels distinctly Oldhammer. And if you want to try your own hand at this awesome painting style, then he posts super useful work in progresses too, with high quality and detailed pictures of his work, making it really easy to see exactly how each brushstroke has landed on his miniatures. Whilst I'm aware that this Oldhammer style isn't everyone's taste, I think it's really good and healthy to fill your social media accounts with a whole array of different styles and artists who specialize in different things so that the hobby never looks boring or the same. Because it really isn't, and I love that each and every person brings their own flavor to the table even when painting the same miniature, and that's what I think is so great about the miniature painting hobby and the wealth of creative talent who populate it. And speaking of which, before we end this video, because I do feel like it's been a short one, maybe I'm wrong, we'll see in the edit, but I want to read out a list of a bunch of other honourable mentions, which are accounts that I definitely feel like you should start following today to populate your own social media feeds with incredible inspirational work. Let's go. Demon Rich, Marco Frassoni, Angel Geraldez, NRM Paints, Sergio Calvo, Rob's One Slapchop Video, El Miniaturista, Saba Art, Orion's Belt Minis, Jose Da Vinci, Albert Moretto Font, Maverick Paints, Duncan Rhodes, obviously, CHK Minis, KP Minis, Eric Swinson, and of course, Lutheran 99. And with that, I am afraid that's all we have time for today. As usual, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for being rogues. I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Bye bye.